Launching and running a product-based fashion brand, more often than not, revolves around the creation of collections. It is also what businesses are rightly or wrongly judged on. You are only as good as your last collection is often something we hear in the industry. Are you facing challenges putting your collection together? Deborah Du Bois, designer and creator of Fordam Rowe, is here to provide step-by-step guidance to ensure your brand makes a fashion statement. Let's do this. Style Access starts now.
Hello, my name is Rosie, and I'm passionate about fashion. My experiences as a stylist, challenge face-off host, TV personality, and blogger bring us here to discuss all things fashion. Welcome to the Style Access Experience.
Many creatives just launch their products when they are ready, but creating and launching your product as a well thought out collection will save you a lot of time and money. Style Access invited Deborah Du Bois to dish on this topic. Deborah is a designer and creator of Fordam Rowe, a brand that embodies the confidence and strong woman through fashion. Her slogan is, "Women United, we are the brigade," that as women, we are stronger when we support each other. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I know you have some pieces here to tie in what a collection is all about. Can we talk through some?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the current fall winter collection. Our first dress here is the Royale dress. It's a velvet cocktail dress with hand beaded crystals at the very top. So it's a dress that definitely takes a lot of time to put together. And so, but it's a beautiful dress, whether you want to do something for holiday, for cocktail, just something black and beautiful.
Okay. Now, how does that tie into the whole collection?
One of the big focuses for this collection was a lot of crystals and glitter. So this particular garment, by bringing in the whole collection, is the chest crystal piece. So that was something that took all day to do. Okay. So it's definitely a time-consuming piece, but the crystals is how this particular dress is tied in.
Okay, it's a beautiful look.
Thank you, thank you.
Who do we have next?
Asia is wearing the two-way sequin dress. So two-way sequin is a big trend this holiday.
Okay. So
the thing I love about this is that it's one side is matte, one side is shiny, depending on how you want to wear it. So it's a mini cocktail dress with a fun detail piece here. So as you walk, shows, a little hip, a little rhythm as she walks.
I love it. And then again, tying into the collection, how so?
The colorways for this collection are black, copper, and gray. So one of my more statement pieces is this dress because of the color. Okay. So it's definitely a statement piece when you are ready to go out.
All right. And who do we have next?
And lastly here we have Gigi, who's actually wearing the Gia two-piece. So this is definitely for our more sportier girl who wants to go out and still look fabulous when she's out. She's more comfortable being a little bit more covered. And because it is a two-piece, she could either layer it with something or just wear it just like this, because the top is more of a crop top style. And then the way this ties in with the collection, not only just the color, but instead of me doing white crystals, I did black crystals for this particular garment.
Okay, well, will this qualify as like leisure wear type of thing?
It is in that category of athleisure, but more sophisticated, a little more high end.
Okay.
So this is for the girl who wants to still have that look, but be dressy when she goes out.
Okay, all right. Now, Deborah, tell us about this look.
This look also kind of carries into that athleisure, sporty, yet sexy look. This is the denim and diamond bomber, which can be worn as a regular bomber off the shoulders, since that's a really big trend at the moment. And what I love about this particular jacket is that it is denim, but what I did is that there is a crystal overlay that goes over it to kind of give it that extra shine, that extra spark. And the great thing about it is that it has two different types of crystal appliques to give you more dimension. So it's a super fun jacket. And then it's paired with these velvet leggings that also were hand sewn crystals on top of those.
Oh my God.
Also.
What a labor of love. But
it
the
is.
finished product.
Great, right?
Yes, I love it.
Another, awesome statement piece for the sporty yet trendy girl.
Yes, and like you said, you can do that, and she is looking good.
And it's great, with a mini skirt, because mini skirts are coming back in. So it's great to pair with a mini skirt if you don't want to do the leggings.
Okay, and is that a bodysuit underneath?
It is, so that at least she's, still showing some skin, but totally covered. So it's up to you what you want to do, but I do like the bodysuit underneath it.
Yes. Okay, who do we have next?
Next we have Gigi. So Gigi, this is for more of our still trendy yet conservative customer. She wants to show a little skin because it is a crop top, but it's also paired with a high-waisted matching skirt. And the thing I love about this is that the zipper detail is on the side of the top, also on the front of the skirt.
Oh, wow.
So you can have it open, have it closed, totally up to you. And turtlenecks and high necks right now are also a big trend that are in for this fall. So this is a great way, to either keep it up, if it's super cold, or keep it down, however you're comfortable with for the high neck.
Yeah, I'm loving the high neck on this piece, and I also like you said, if you're a little conservative, you only have that peekaboo, that little bit of skin, to show that little sexiness.
And also one big colorway that is big for this fall is gray. So you will see a lot in this collection that gray was used.
Okay, all right. Love that one too. I would definitely rock that.
Fabulous, right? You can maybe even get away with it, going to work, by maybe putting a tank top or a bodysuit underneath it.
Yeah,
so you still, exactly, just to cover up.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you, Gigi.
Now, Deborah, tell us about this look.
So this last look that Asia's wearing is the half neoprene and half fur coat. Fur is a big trend this season, so you're going to see it everywhere, from coats to purses, hats, it's everywhere. So the thing about this that I love, it's not only just a coat, but it's also a coat dress. So she has the option to wear it during the day, to work, and then maybe if she's going somewhere after, she can take off her slacks, take off her skirt, whatever it is, and turn it into a coat dress.
How convenient is that?
And the great thing is very warm on the inside, so even though it's, it's going to be a little chilly out, she'll still feel comfortable.
Yeah, I love that. And like you said, we could throw it on with some thigh-high boots and really rock that look.
Turn it into an evening look.
Very versatile piece. And that's, like you said, that's what you want when you invest in a piece, something that you can wear different ways.
Exactly, because a lot of fashion, especially fast fashion right now, it's hit or day, gone tomorrow. And I don't want my pieces to be that. I want you to have the opportunity to wear it, whether it's during the day, at night, with jeans, without jeans, have the versatility to wear it with different options. So me as a designer, I'm always conscious of that for my customer, because I'm that person too. I want to have options with everything that I wear.
Well, thank you so much, Deborah.
All right, thank you.
I really like the looks that were displayed today.
Thank you.
All right. Style Access will be back in a moment. Fashion designers develop a whole range of related ideas to produce groups of garments that work not only as standalone outfits, but also as a collection. A consistent approach to important factors such as color, shape, patterns, and proportions help to create this cohesion. Deborah is still here with us to discuss creating a collection. Thanks for sticking around, Deborah.
Thanks for having me.
Now, why is it so important to create a collection versus standalone pieces?
The thing about a collection is that you as a designer have the opportunity for one season to get all your ideas out and a story. Each collection starts, whether it's something personal that's happened to you or just something personal to you, and you're able to execute that idea by showing it through clothing. Okay. So if you want to be able to, if you're ready to wear, especially if you're a ready to wear designer, you're able to show all your separates in one collection, but over multiple pieces. Okay. So it's just a way to get more ideas out at one time. Plus it allows retailers or people who want to shop from you more variety. So the more variety you offer in a collection, the more you're able to have customers, potential customers come shop from you.
Okay. So if you only had like the standalone pieces, retailers would shy away from you because it wasn't enough variety. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Okay. Retailers also have to think about the hundreds of people, thousands of people who shop from them. So if you only have one or two pieces and they like you as a designer, but they feel maybe this garment doesn't work for us, but if you had something else similar to it in a different way or a different silhouette, that might be a better option for their customer.
Okay. Now talk about the starting process. Now for you, what is it? Do you start with the fabric? Do you start with what? An idea in your head? How do you go about it?
For me, it's fabrication. I am big on fabrics. I love textures. I love things that you can feel, you can touch, that to the eye, they're visually stimulating. I'm not big on prints or color. So for me, fabrication is kind of how I attract my customers. And plus, my customer base appreciates that because they know that in a crowd, they are able to stand alone. So for me, I prefer things that when you touch them, they feel, they have some type of touch to the hand. So that's my personal preference when it comes to designing my collections.
Okay, can we talk about some fabric choices you have here?
Absolutely. This particular fall winter collection for me, a big idea was gray. Like I said, every designer has something that they're focused on. For me, gray was the biggest focal point. So I wanted to use fabrics that accented grays. So quilting is a big texture fabric this season. So for me, I wanted to use this amazing gray quilt, super soft.
Yes, it
and
is.
the great thing about it, because it's two-way, you don't have to worry about lining it. So that's something, when it's fall, winter, you do have to worry about lining fabrics because when you're out and about, it's cold, it's chilly, and plus fabrics are normally rough on the inside. So this particular fabric, I didn't have to worry about that. Another great piece that I used was this satin wool, which has this beautiful sheen on the inside, but yet has this wool on the other side so you're able to stay warm. So this is also another great fabric where you don't have to worry about lining it. You just have to make sure that it's beautifully sewn on the inside so that when you do open your coat or whatnot, it's still beautiful.
Okay.
And so, like I said, for me, gray was the biggest color for my collection. So I wanted to use other colors or other things that accented that. So for me, fur was a really good texture piece to use to accent. Copper is also another great way to highlight gray. And like I said, crystal, as I said before, crystal is a big trend this season. So crystals, sequins, anything that's shiny and catches your eye with light. Almost every big designer this season is doing it. So I kind of did my own little take by using this particular crystal, and I call it the diamond.
You would say that.
The diamond fabrication.
Yes.
And then one of my other favorite fabrics is this metallic nylon fabric. And for this particular piece, I used it as a jacket, but it's great visually to look at. The great thing about this is that over time it actually pleats apart. So it's a pleated fabric.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so just so you know, get more texture, more dimension as you wear it over time.
So where do you go for fabric? Like, educate me. Is it like a fabric store? Do you go to somebody's, I guess, store that has all this fabric that you can see? What do designers do? Because I know Joann's Fabric, but I know you don't go there. But where do you go? Where do designers go?
You would actually be surprised. They've actually stepped their game up these last couple years.
Oh, excuse me.
Don't be afraid of chain store fabric places.
Okay.
But most designers don't want to always use those because everyone is going there.
Okay.
So it's best for those who have the money, they create their own fabrics, and that's a very expensive process. But normally I source in New York a lot. New York has a great fabric district. If you're able to get to California, LA has a really great garment district, and LA and New York have totally different ideas when it comes to fabrications. If you're into sportswear, athleisure, LA is definitely your place. If you want something more high-end, luxurious, I would say New York is your place to go. If you're able to even travel even further, go to Paris, go to Milan, go to London, go to those places where they specialize in making fabrications and you're able to get things that are more unique. Because don't forget, not only in your city, but there's designers all over the world. So we're all, in a sense, kind of going to the same place. It's just a matter if you're going to hunt a little bit and search a little bit deeper for that fabric that's in the very back that no one's paying attention to.
Okay.
Do you have that eye for it?
But then say if somebody picked this, I mean, you guys may have totally different ideas of how to formulate a garment from whatever you pick, so.
That's very true. For me, I thought about this as a jacket. Someone else might think it might be a pair of pants.
Right.
Might maybe even make a purse or something out of it. I don't know. It's totally up to you as far as what you think. So yeah.
Now let's talk about pricing. Okay, so I know fabric plays a role in that, but how does pricing overall comes into your garment? Is it the time that you put? So I know some things that you have in your collection, it's tedious with putting crystals and different things on there. So how does pricing play a part?
For me, it's definitely fabrications and how much time it takes for me to hand sew something. I love expensive fabric, so that normally starts the basis of everything for me because I don't want things to be overpriced. I can't also overly consume my time with hand stitching. So if something is extremely expensive as far as fabric, I won't spend as much time on something hand sewn. So like the black dress, the black crystal dress that I had shown earlier, the thing about that dress is that crystal piece takes about 6-7 hours just to sew on.
Oh, wow.
So that's a whole day worth of work.
Yes.
So I have to, account for my time and the amount of crystals that it took. So that particular dress can easily run hundreds and thousands of dollars, also depending on the designer. If you are a more popular designer, you're also able to surcharge because of that, because you have a name that people are seeking and you're sought after.
Okay.
So a few different variables.
Okay. Now, if we can back up and talk about like design, how do you figure that out in your head? Do you do illustrations? What do you do?
The average designer does illustrate their garments because that's kind of where you start with your basic idea. I personally do not like to draw or sketch, so I don't really draw full on croquis, as you would say. I normally actually draw stick figures, and then from there I write notes. I start with a stick figure, and then from there I write notes. And then the fabrications is a part of, the fabric for me is what dictates the outfit. So this particular fabric, actually, I've had it for about 8 months, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. And as I got closer to the season, I was thinking, this would be a great jacket. I mocked up a jacket. I loved it, kept it. Now I bought 20 yards to go with this particular jacket, with this particular look. I've got enough to maybe make 8 jackets out of the 20 yards. Okay. So I like to hold on to fabrics because I feel like sometimes once you see something, you're never going to see it again. So if it's that special, I hold on to it. And then months later, I'll figure out what I want to do with it. Exactly.
Now, what are some tips to, make a good sellable product? I know you said something about fabric, but is there any other tips that you can definitely do to make sure you have a win on the other end?
The thing about each season, each collection, there are trends, and people dictate those trends. You might put out something beautiful and amazing, but no one really cares. The people are what decides what's going to be your next hit. So you might have a collection of 15, 20 pieces, but people really might only like 5 or 6, and those might be your most sellable items. So that's why it's best to have a variety of things so that you can the people can kind of pick and choose what they want. And things that don't do as well for you, those end up more being pieces that you just kind of have in your closet, your fashion closet, and then the 5 or 6 items that people really like are the ones that you want to produce. Okay,
so people see them, and then when you place them, I guess, in stores or lookbooks, people may not, like those. But what about if I come along and I want that one that's in the back closet? How do I find out?
and that's also the catch-22 with that. Sometimes, even though you've produced something, some designers will say, hey, I made it, I'm glad that you love it, but I'm not going to reproduce it. If I do, you're going to have to pay more for that because because I didn't want to reproduce it because not enough people wanted it. So that's where those garments normally end up being put away, only seen on the red carpet. And that's the beauty of a lookbook. And that's also the reason why collections are done 6 months in advance. It gives designers enough time to put in orders for stores and for retailers to pick the items that they want. Because the things that weren't selected, they don't have to worry about spending the money to reproduce.
Okay. And last question, how many items is usually in a collection? Is it a maximum or minimum number?
There's no maximum, there's no minimum. It also depends on your budget and how big of a brand you are. Most indie designers normally have 8 to 15 looks because that's what they can realistically can afford. The average designer for New York Fashion Week probably has 30 to 50. And then if you're someone who is a fashion house, you can afford up to 100 pieces. Okay. So it just depends on your budget and how long you want your fashion show to be honest.
Okay, well, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
You have opened my eyes to what it takes to formulate a collection. And it shows that it's a lot of work, creativity, and detail. So my hat is off to you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for being on Style Access.
Thank you for having me.
All right. More Style Access after the break. Designers just create products that they like. However, we hope you've learned more about why creating a collection is so important and how to do it successfully. What stories are you telling with your collection? Feel free to tag us or send a pic via email to styleaccessdc@gmail.com, and we will share on our social media pages. Also, be sure to stay connected with us on Instagram and YouTube at Style Access Show.